Yo everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elijah and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I got into college as an average student. I consider myself an average student. I was never at the top of my class. I was never at the bottom of my class. My graduating class was only 86 kids, I believe. My school was a school that you had to test into and keep a certain GPA to stay in for all 4 years. I always met that benchmark, but I was never extraordinarily over it. I often found myself last year watching these kinds of videos before my college application process, and I always found that everyone making these videos were going to a top 5 university or had extraordinary stats like over 4.0s, and I just don't find that very realistic. I understand if that's you, and I would be so proud to share that if that was me, but that's not me, and that's not majority of the people applying to colleges. And that's very discouraging to many people that are going through the college application process because they are not seeing people like them when they're looking at these videos. I would say these kinds of videos and move-in videos and what's in my backpack videos, those kinds of things are very necessary in today's day and age for incoming students, whatever grade you're going into. So without further ado, I have this notepad and it has an order of how I'm going to approach this video. So right now, let me share with you these schools that I applied to. So I applied to 7 schools. I know a lot of people that applied to 50 or I don't even know how people can do that many. I paid for all of my application fees myself. So I chose 7 schools that I wanted to apply to. And those schools were Penn State University, Ohio State University, Purdue University, Central Michigan University, Western Michigan University, Grand Valley State University, and Michigan State University. As you can see, I'm wearing Michigan State merch. This is where I'm headed in the fall. Very excited. Go green. If you said go white, you know. But this is the school that I chose to go to. I did not get into every school I applied to. I did not get into Ohio State University. And for Penn State University, I did not get into the main campus. I got into a 2+2 program, so I would have spent 2 years at the Penn State Harrisburg campus and 2 years, my final years as junior and senior years, at the main campus. So my decision of going to Michigan State University had a lot of factors to go into it. My dream school was Penn State, and I was very disheartened when I found out I did not get into the main campus, but you know, you gotta be sad sometimes, and I was very upset. I didn't know what I was going to do, but everything worked itself out in the end, and I'm very grateful for that to have happened. But that's the school I really wanted to go to. So once I got all of my acceptances in, it was between Michigan State University, Grand Valley State University, and Purdue University. My best friend is going to Michigan State University. You've seen her in my past video. Her name is Morgan. She's going to Michigan State University, so that was a factor in it. People I would know are going there. Purdue University is farther away from where I live. Michigan State University is only an hour away from where I currently live in Michigan. Purdue is a bit farther in a different state, and Grand Valley State University is technically better for my major, but everything that culminated in my decision pointed towards Michigan State University. I went to a school with 400 kids and I want a big university experience, and Grand Valley State cannot give that to me. They have 6,000 students in total. So I wanted that experience. I wanted a Big Ten experience. I love college football. I wanted a Big Ten experience. And so once Grand Valley was out of the question, it was really about convenience and what spoke to me more. And Michigan State spoke to me more. So now I'm going to go over my high school career. I started high school in 2017. I just graduated as the class of 2021. My overall GPA in high school that I applied to colleges with was a 3.36. Once I graduated, my GPA went up to a 3.43, and that had a lot to do with having the whole year online. Stuff is a lot easier online, but I had a 3.36 when I was applying to these schools. I was very, very involved in my school, however. I was on student congress. I was a part of my school's class board. I was on National Honor Society. I was just a member of National Honor Society, which is still such a blessing. I was so proud to become a member of that. I was a part of the yearbook committee in junior year, and I did that for the full year. I took pictures. I worked on the actual yearbook. We also ran the school newspaper, so I would write articles for the school newspaper. And if I had any advice for that, I would say be you. Don't try to impress people, and the right friends are going to come. My correct friends didn't come until senior year when we were online, so your right friends are going to show themselves to you. Hi, it's me editing the video. I didn't really say what this advice was for. This is for high school in general, not joining clubs, but it applies to everything. So if you're just confused, this advice is for going into high school and being in high school and stuff like that. Editing Elijah out. Outside of high school, I also went to camps. I went to the Michigan leadership camp. I don't remember what the actual name for the camp is, but I went to a leadership camp in 2019. I was planning on going in 2020, but COVID. I also worked throughout my high school experience. I worked at the Boys and Girls Club, which I had been a member of for about 5 years prior. So I worked there from March 2019 to March 2020, and then I was laid off because, again, COVID. But that was my high school experience. That's really what happened for me. In my senior year, I took the SAT. I was not able to take it junior year because of, again, COVID, but I took it senior year. I did not submit my SAT scores to any school but Penn State University. I do think that's why I didn't get in. My SAT score was not the best, but I did not submit it to any other school, and that's why I'm very much just brushing over the top of the SAT, because my experience, SAT was not necessary to determine what school I got into, unless I submitted it, which I'm glad everything happened the way it happened, but if I do wonder what would have happened if I never submitted it to Penn State. Outside of high school, my sophomore year, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, and that took me out of school for a very long time. I was in and out of the hospital my entire first semester of sophomore year, and that was a very large experience to be had as a 15-year-old. My 9th grade year, I was just sick. I was sick all the time. Crohn's disease is a stomach disease, it's an irritable bowel disease. So I was sick all the time, so I was often not in school anyways, but sophomore year, that first semester, I was just literally not going to school for months at a time because I was in the hospital. I was getting surgeries, I was having MRIs, it was a whirlwind, but that's something that happened during high school and that shaped my high school career, so I did want to share that with you. And any advice on that would be, if you're going through something similar, going through a diagnosis in high school, stay strong, it will get better, and honestly, it'll give you a really good college essay. That's all I have to say, and we'll touch more on that in the next portion of the video. But my Crohn's experience in high school, it was very formative. I would be out of school every 8 weeks on Fridays, which were usually test days, so every 8 weeks I would be out of school to maintain my health. I get IV infusions through my right here, but like that happens every 8 weeks, and that's going to continue going through college. But that was a very formative, very big reason my high school career was not the top it could be, because I was not able to perform at my top capacity. I was sick, I was in hospital beds for the most formative years of your high school experience. Everybody says junior year is the year that makes or breaks you. Freshman year, hands down, freshman year and sophomore year, because if you get into a rut with your GPA in freshman and sophomore year, you're not going to recover. And that's the sad truth about the grading system. You're not going to recover, and that sucks, but it's the truth. If you're a student like me who the best GPA I ever got in high school was a 3.8, I never achieved a 4.0, you're not going to recover as well as you think you may. But that's just what happened with me, and I'm grateful for all of my experiences because they led me to where I am today. Going into senior year in the COVID-19 pandemic, especially applying to colleges, was not very easy, and I'm going to use very vague terms because I'm high-key, low-key, Mickey pissed at my high school. We were promised a lot of stuff in freshman year that we did not get when it came to the college application process. Our school was very connected with the University of Michigan, so a lot of their college preparation only went towards students that wanted to go there. I never wanted to go to the University of Michigan. That's never been a school I ever tried to get into. I hate University of Michigan. I can say that. I don't like the school. But my school was dead set on everybody going there. So they did not really help other students. And there can be some slack given because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But I do feel that a lot of my graduating class would have been in a better place had we had more help in that aspect. But we ended up going the application process really on our own, learning everything for ourselves. So my application process, I applied to every school on the Common App, which is something that is very useful. I feel like some people call it traumatic and have a bad experience with Common App. I had a great experience with Common App. I was very on top of my college applications. I was done applying to schools in October. Like, every school I applied to was early action. I was very, very on top of my college application process. And I feel like that helped me, but it was also because, like, it was an assignment for our school. That's the one thing that they, like, made sure, like, you're gonna be done applying to schools, or you're gonna have, I think, applied to at least 5 schools by this date, and I just applied to all of my schools. I started my applications August 1st when the Common App opened, and I was done at the beginning of October, and I'm proud of that. When it comes to my essay, I have an interesting experience with my essay. I've always loved to write. I am a big writer. I like to write essays. That's always been something that I enjoyed, and I don't know why. I hate reading, but I like to write. My college essay was actually an essay I wrote for a scholarship in July of 2020. So the scholarship's prompt was, how have you overcame adversity during your high school experience? And I used my Crohn's disease to describe my adversity and how I had overcome it and become stronger through it. And that essay had to be 1,000 words. So when it came to writing my college essay, I was very fortunate to see that, like, that was a very similar prompt. So I just trimmed my essay to 650 words, kept all the most important parts, and I used that as my college essay. So that was my experience with it. I was done with my college essay before I was done with any application, and I think that's very rewarding. I had multiple teachers read it. I think that's something that every high schooler should do. Have your English teachers, if you have a good relationship with them, even if you don't have a good relationship with them, have them read your college essay. It's so important. It will help you so much. The feedback that an English teacher can give you on an essay is uncomparable to anybody else's feedback. So that's one of the biggest things I can recommend. Have your English teacher read your college essay before you submit it. My college application process was fairly simple. I also, again, only applied to 7 schools, so I was done by October. The rest of the year, I was applying to scholarships and through FAFSA and stuff like that. I got no money from financial aid. My parents were under the impression that financial aid can pay for your college, no matter who you are, and that we were poor enough for it to work for us. But I got no financial aid money, and that was a very real bummer. So I was very, very reliant on scholarships, and I applied to over 100 scholarships throughout my senior year, and I didn't receive any scholarships. That is very hard to go through. I was a runner-up for many scholarships, a finalist for many scholarships, including the Gates Scholarship, the Jackie Robinson Scholarship, a lot of high-profile scholarships, but I would always make it just under getting the scholarship, and that was very hard. I just went through my last scholarship rejection very recently. So I am taking all of my college out in loans because my family cannot afford it. That's my experience with scholarships and financial aid. Financial aid comes every year. Maybe one year it'll be different. Maybe I will get something one year, but I don't know. You can apply for scholarships throughout your college experience though. So that is what I'm going to be doing. My loan process was very quick and easy. Me and my family utilized Sallie Mae. I highly recommend Sallie Mae. That's just how it was for me. I don't know if anybody else can relate to that. I'm sure people can relate to that because not everybody has the grades to get them the best scholarship. Not everybody is aiming for that 4.0. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But just know it is always going to be disheartening when you're almost the recipient of a scholarship and you don't get it. But that was my entire process going through high school, going through how I got into college as a average student. I finished my list, and so I guess that is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I hope this resonated with some of you because I feel like, again, a lot of these videos are people going to MIT, Harvard, UCLA, schools that not everybody can get into, and I feel like that's just not a great representation of the broader aspect of college students. We are not all as extremely gifted as students of that caliber. But thank you for watching. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next video.